Shall I wait for Broadlink's app to be ready and be released, or shall I start poking around with it on camera whilst it's broken and not working properly? So I've actually had this thing for a little while now, and I have already had a play with it, but I told you guys you were going to get to beta test it, because that's what Broadlink told me. But they've kept me waiting so long now, I've started to feel guilty, and so what I thought I would do is play with it on camera whilst you watch. That sounds filthy. If you're wondering, what is a Broadlink? Broadlink is a company that creates products that do things like control TVs. In fact, I'm just going to let this guy explain from the past. This thing is a Broadlink RM Pro Plus. If you don't know what that is, basically it is a device that can control infrared devices and RF devices to switch them on and off, and can advertise them to Alexa so that Alexa can control this to in turn control those things. It is ultra cheap and it can control ultra cheap plug sockets and light switches, and therefore is an amazing tool for home automation. Try not to judge Broadlink too harshly throughout this video because we're still properly in testing phase. Stuff that wasn't working an hour ago when I started filming this video has actually started working during filming. We're like at that stage. I'm going to press the plus button up here. I'm going to actually try and add a device, which I think is going to fail miserably, but let's see. It's that I want to add. I'm going to get out my trusty old friend. That sounded rude as well. Stop turning everything I say into innuendo. Trusty old friend, not my penis. Okay, we have a blue flashing light. So this is all very new. None of this looks the way it used to. It looks different now. Sexier, in my opinion. I do like the black and gold and white scheme that they've gone with. It's very different. It doesn't look anything like any other app that I've seen in recent memory. It's pretty. It looks good. It has failed! I totally expected that to happen. The ironic thing is, this stuff was working. I have actually managed to add my Broadlink RM Pro previously, and then when I came to look at it today, all that had been broken. So they've broken stuff whilst they're making other things work. Again, stop judging them. So I'm going to show you some of the things I've already added. Over here, I've got my NVIDIA Shield TV remote, which is that one. If you're an NVIDIA Shield owner and you're looking at that going, that's not an NVIDIA Shield remote, that's because I replaced the crap NVIDIA Shield remote with a much older Android remote and used a FLIRC to make this Android remote control my Shield. Consequently, I can also then use a Broadlink product to fire the infrared signals instead of this, and I can control my Shield using my Broadlink, and therefore using She That Should Not Be Named. I'm going to teach it this button now. Power button. Awesome. So my Broadlink RM Pro can be taught via this app, and basically everything looks kind of new, but it works in exactly the same way as the previous application did. It's kind of a case of teaching one button at a time if you couldn't find your original remote. There were options to search through the database of remotes like you could do before, so none of this stuff has really changed. I can now open my NVIDIA Shield remote up, press the power button, and my Broadlink RM Pro sends the signal to my NVIDIA Shield to turn the power on. That is awesome. So the format of this is actually really nice. The home section, which is what we're in now, has your different rooms, and in the different rooms are your different things, whether they be light bulbs or TVs or whatevers. And then in the middle you've got scenes, where you can make it do multiple things. So if I press add scene, all of this is super broken, like really broken. So I can go through and I can pick one of their predetermined, pre-named scenes with a picture. I don't know if you can rename these. If I go to general, no, I can't rename it. So this, again, is pretty early days, and I think they need to make some improvements to this, because the scene functionality needs to be a little bit more loose than, we're going to name it for you. I don't want you to name it for me, I want to name it. The old app used to then have a section where you could say, wait a little bit of time, and then do a thing. That's currently missing from this, so that's the first kind of major failing with this, other than the fact I can't really name the scenes myself. I could then add another device and then save it and do whatever. Some of the artwork is a little bit wacky. If I go into this little man here, what's that at the top? What's that in the background? That's definitely a pile of boobs. If that's not a pile of boobs, I don't know what is. And show you the final tab. The final tab is you, your homes and your personality. I don't know what I'm on about. You can manage your homes in here. The interesting thing is you can share your home. So you could share this home with another person simply by telling the app, I want to share it with this user, and you put their username in. Again, I'm not sure if any of that functionality works yet, but it gives you an idea as to some of the things they're doing. That in itself is brilliant because it also means that all your stuff will be backed up, which has been a major bugbear for the previous application. If you can't back stuff up and you lose the app, you're in big trouble. This gets you out of that big trouble. Under here, it's worth noting that the other thing that is missing currently is channels. I can go through and press numbers, which is great, but in the old app you could actually set BBC One and have that dial BBC One's number, and then that BBC One would be advertised to She That Should Not Be Named, and She That Should Not Be Named could then be asked for BBC One and turn BBC One on. That was brilliant. Broadlink, put that back in, please. I will be very, very upset if it's not in there. Adding a device looks very different now, so I only showed you very briefly me adding the Broadlink Black Bean. There's loads of stuff here. There is a dog, if you wanted to add a dog. Clearly just a test. Not going to keep that in, I don't think. So this is an interesting one. Right at the bottom you've got package combination, and it looks like some kind of voice thing that says VDIFTTT. Anyone want to have a guess at what that might be? Something to do with if this then that, but voice determiner, if this then that? I don't think that's even a word. Answers in the comments if you know what the hell that's supposed to do. There's some teasing with voice services as well. If I go into my little man and then click the little man in the pile of boobs, then it comes back with bind voice service. And when I click that, I get the choices of She That Should Not Be Named and Broadlink Default. Verified. What does that mean? I have no idea what that is, and clicking it does nothing, and I really would like to know. The She That Should Not Be Named one takes you to sign in with Amazon, and check this out. Magic Bang would like access to She That Should Not Be Named voice service. Magic Bang! What's Magic Bang? I have no idea what that is. Since my last Broadlink video, I've been asked quite a lot, when is the Broadlink RM4 getting released? And the answer is, I don't know. I also don't care that much because that particular device is going to be exactly the same as the previous device in a prettier housing. Seriously, just buy the RM Pro Plus. That's my other piece of advice. People keep saying, there are so many Broadlink RM Pros, which one should I buy? It doesn't really matter. They all do the same thing. But the Broadlink RM Pro Plus will have the latest firmware on it, so buy that one. What else will the new Broadlink app be able to do when it is finished? I shall tell you. The first thing is, apparently it's going to give you the ability to control your infrared devices, like your TV, using this thing. So, that's kind of bonkers. If you have an infrared blaster on your phone, which I do, I will be able to use their app to control my TV using my phone as if it was a remote. Crazy. Secondly, the scenes section of the app should be able to be controlled by Siri. So if you're one of these Apple kids, then you'll have all of that to look forward to. I think the app itself they have made really pretty, and that's the only thing you should probably take away from this, is that they are lining things up so that they look good and so that they are nicely customizable. They've still got a little way to go, but being able to move rooms around and being able to put stuff in different rooms, and just the fact that you can swipe through your rooms is a really nice touch. Like I said at the beginning of this video, try not to judge them too harshly. This is still early days. I was hoping that they would be a little bit further along by now, but they've kind of taken a few steps forward, a few steps back, and then kind of gone backwards and forwards a bit. They're trying to get it right, and I admire that. They are not rushing it through this time around. They are actually planning on getting it in some kind of semblance of working order before it reaches your hands. Fingers crossed they still have plans to do beta testing with you guys. If that's the case, I will be letting you know before that happens, and you'll be able to sign up somewhere and do all that stuff with me and go, oh look, boobs, and flick through menus like I have done in this video. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, because that will tell YouTube this was a good video and other people should see it. Algorithm stuff. If you want to see some more of this guy, hit that subscribe button, and you will do. If you press that little bell thing afterwards, you'll get notifications as to when I'm releasing more videos, so do that as well. If you want to hang out with me, you can do so at all of the Facebooks and Instagrams and Twitters, and you can make these videos happen by being a patron, like these wicked people here. You can do that at either Patreon, or just buy me a one-off beer at PayPal, and that will keep me going too. I'll love you forever, either way, and I shall see you next time. Start poking around with it, and let you guys watch. That sounds really filthy reservable. Magic Bang would like Since my last Broadlink video, I've been asked quite a lot. This is the dance of the robot.